It's a little blurry, actually. Can we... make that a little less blurry? I think it just looks blurry because of the background. Really? It's gonna start this shit again? Let me mute that. Oh, because it's not on auto. Yeah, okay, so if you're can you go do a sound check for me? Because the little bit I heard of my voice, that sounded like I was quiet. Need to know if I have to turn my, actually I don't think I can turn my mic up anymore. Never mind. If your video keeps like pulsing, like it's trying to refocus or something, switch your video quality playback to auto. I don't know if mine's not high enough for the playback or the video setting it keeps trying to put me on. It's weird. But yeah, that should stop the pulsing. Hence the little texty tag up there in the corner. Alright. Let's get down to it today. I had to look at what you guys see because my preview window of what's happening is very small, so I always think that what I'm working on needs to be zoomed out, but looking at what you all are seeing, I think we're good. We're gonna do incense today. Because why not? We should. Okay. Alright. I forgot that I didn't get any orange here, so let me get some off my plate. I think I was like, yeah, I'll just use what I've got already. And then when I get to the other project, I'll just twist more for that. At least I think that's what my thought process was. Either that or I just simply ran out of time and I'm like, oh, I'll have to do it on the fly. But, you know, time crunches are not always fun. I should have a little bit more time coming up, because we won't have two characters for the Bloodthirsty challenge, leveling and Bastion at the same time for WoW challenges, so that'll give me a little bit more time. At least I won't have, well no, I will have two. Well, I'll have like a week where I don't have two in there. So maybe I can get a little bit more done there. Alright, so we've got some orange. I have a plate, I have a paper plate full of madness. They actually were separated out by color at one point. And then, I don't know what happened, they all got smushed together, and I should have known better. I actually need like several of those compartmentized plates. I'm trying to stick two words together that aren't the same word, like that aren't a real word. I think I'm trying to make a word in my head. You know, like the TV dinner trays that have all the little cubbies in them. That would be an interesting way to recycle those, but then I'd have to wash it. And I don't normally eat TV dinners, so that would be an interesting use for it, though. I think once I've used all of the cut pieces that are in my bead caddy that I was originally thinking was going to hold all my tissue paper, and then I ended up having to put it in bags anyway. I think that might be where I store the twisted paper for the current project I'm working on. Oh look, there's some greens in here too. Alright, so yeah, I am running late today. Sorry. Not sorry. I had a few things I had to do when I woke up, bound with my waking up being slow. I actually was awake at 1:30, I think. Well, no, that's not true. Well, yeah, it is true. I woke up at 8, went back to sleep, woke up at 11:30, fell back asleep, woke up at 1:30, and then I actually got up. But I was awake before then. Technically. Alright, so that should be good for now. Okay. Let me stick you. Nope. Plastic bag. You go back up there. Okay.
What's up?
Huh?
I thought you were waving at me.
No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I had asked you to do a sound check, and then I realized my mic was up as high as it was going to go, so there was no point in having you do it. Alright, I do want to add a little bit more orange over here. Because it is kind of visible there on that bottom edge. Well, more visible than I would prefer. Put it that way. So thank you all for popping in and hanging out with me on my birthday. That's fun. Husband surprised me with cupcakes, which is very big for him because he doesn't normally bake. Like, his baking stops at like Chex Mix, pretty much. And like 2 biscuits, so it was very cute. And he even made some for the doggos so they could celebrate. There are some unicinged cupcakes set aside for them. And it's funfetti, so they can have a little bit. It's not like it's devil's food or something where they wouldn't be able to have any. They can have a taste of funfetti. Yeah, as long as it's not the chocolate that could hurt them, we're all good. Okay, I think we'll stick one more on that bottom edge, and then we'll start filling in our next section here. So I hope everybody had a good week. Alright, that looks a little better. Okay. Alright, and once again, if you're new here, we do music, viewer's choice music in the respect that you put on whatever the hell it is you want to listen to. That section's going to be a little tight, but we'll see what we can make happen there. Scissors. We need our paintbrush. Oh, our paper towel. Oh no! I lost our paper towel. It decided to leave us, so I'm gonna need a new one. That's okay. We were probably due for a new one. That other one's been around for a few weeks. Alright. So I'm just going to use our crappy paintbrush to spread out our glue here. So we can try to get a bit more mileage out of it. There. Don't forget to rinse the glue out of your brush, and make sure you're using a cup for your water that is designated for art supplies or craft supplies. You don't want to turn around and use that for food or drinking, even if you wash it. I mean, it is just tacky glue and it's not toxic, but I wouldn't. That's probably me. That guy's a little big for that spot. How about that? Say, alright. If that's how you're gonna be. That's how it's gonna be. Alright. So, yeah, scissors I would definitely suggest. So you can get your guys cut and squished in here to the right size. It's a lot easier to roll these and then cut them than attempt to roll something that tiny. Hey, if you've got tiny fingers and can do that, that's awesome. I don't have fingers that are that tiny or the dexterity in my swollen hands to do that, so. But if you do, cool. And you are already one up. I'm just kind of trying to smush them into place. So I was like looking at what I had pre-twisted for this color right before I got started, and I was like, you know, it's probably not going to be enough for this project. I do have some other colors that I could probably try to work in. I still have a little bit more of this color as well. but we're also cutting a bit of it, so it might go a little bit further than I was originally thinking, just sitting back and looking at it. You don't have to use a stylus, you can use a little toothpick. You can take a paper clip and bend out one of the little army guys. You know, whatever you have that's gonna be small enough to get in there, that's gonna work for you. This guy's a little bit bigger, so I'm gonna tap him down in there. Alright. So it's gonna be a lot of the same repetitive, you know, snipping. Is this gonna fit here? Where are we gonna put that? Kind of stuff. No, I didn't want you to quite sit like that. But no. Alright. Get you in there. So some of these might overlap the little white feather supports or bones or whatever the heck you want to call them, whatever the heck they're supposed to be called. That's okay. If it does, that's fine. Not a huge problem. Might give it a little bit more of a authentic look if it does. I wouldn't say go out of your way to make it happen, but if it happens, cool. If not, then it doesn't. Alright. So you can't see it fully, but I am over here cutting some paper for our section in here. Now in this spot we might have a little bit of our little greens coming up and sitting on top of our lime green feather there. That's fine. I wouldn't say cover it completely, but it'll give it a little bit more of a layered look, like this feather's in front of that one kinda, or these particular threads of the feather. Are kind of sitting on top of it. Because I'm not going to be able to cut something that tiny and get it in there. That's just not gonna happen. Because my fingers are much too big. I mean, if I had given myself a little bit more room, which I probably should have done, be another story. but we didn't. That's okay. That's okay. It was so little, I wasn't sure if I had picked it up. I was like, wait, did I drop it? No, I had it. I just couldn't tell I had picked it up. My goodness. Now, hopefully, the cat doesn't decide to jump into the middle of what we're doing today. I actually don't know where she is. She's either under my desk or the husband has her on his. But I definitely should not have told her that she could come up here the one day when she was having trouble finding where to go, because I was like, oh no. Now she's up here every second that she can possibly pull it off. I'm like, oh, kitty. I tried to explain to her that I needed the desk space today because we have an art stream. I'm not sure how well that sunk in, but we'll find out, I guess, if I end up with a cat in the middle of my glue. Hopefully we don't, because that could be a bit of a problem. Just a little bit. Just a wee bit of a very sticky cat. Suddenly she's decided that I'm her new best friend. And that's fine. Not quite so fine that when she decides to stand up and block my monitor and I can't see what I'm doing though. Especially when I'm in the middle of a combat on a challenger that can't die. That's a little troubling. Once she lays down though, it's all good. But if anybody in the room moves, then she's like instantly back up. I'm like, I thought you were asleep. Alright, so because this is on the sand background that I thought we were going to need that we didn't end up using, I mean, some of it might peek through in some spots, but the glue's gonna absorb into it a little bit faster. So do keep that in mind. You don't want to put the glue down and walk away. Like once you put your glue down, I mean, you can add more glue. It's not the end of the world, but it's also not going to take hours for it to dry, in the respect that while it might take a little while to dry fully, the amount of time that you have before it skins over where it's not sticky anymore isn't going to be that much, especially if it's a hot day like today. It's actually fairly warm in our room today, and we weren't sure if it was us or what the heck was going on, but then I looked up the temperature outside, and it currently was well, at the time it was a feels like of 99 degrees, so I was like, oh yeah, that'll do that. That'll do it. Just kind of eyeballing the size that we need. Which may or may not be 100% accurate, but close enough. And don't get rid of the little pieces that you don't think you can use in that spot. Save them for the next section. See, this section feels like it's starting to dry. Oh no, that still feels a little wet. We are getting some glue buildup on our stylus, so whatever you're using to help smush your paper in place, make sure that you're cleaning off the excess glue residue periodically. It will make your life easier, because if you get too much going on there, then whatever you're trying to push down is gonna just lift right back up and stick to whatever it is you're using here. So see, in some sections we might have a little bit of the background peeking through, and again, that's fine. I won't know for sure until we dry, but no. Oh, okay, yeah, that spot did dry. Like, why is this not grabbing here? A little corner of a little towel to clean off the top of our glue bottle a little bit. Alright, so I'm just gonna put a little, probably way too much of a dab of glue on that section. Alright, do I have any more teeny tiny bits? I don't think so. So let's go ahead and cut a teeny tiny bit carefully. Make sure you don't snip the edge of your fingers, because that is possible. I've done it. Either I'm super special, or it's definitely possible. I mean, either way it's still possible, but alright. So let's get in this section. So I'm going to start gluing in some smaller sections, because I do have a fan on because of the hotness in here. Remember to rinse your brush really good. Try to get as much glue out of that as you can, and then blot that dry. So don't worry about getting it on the very edge of this line in here, because we're going to be putting an outline of some black tissue in there. So it's okay. If it doesn't completely come up to the edge, we can fix that. Now, I would have pre-cut all of this if I thought I could have kept them all set aside for the right sections, but that was gonna be pretty tall order, so and that will dry clear if you get some glue smushed about on top, so don't panic about that. It's fine. It happens. We're going to be putting a layer of sealant over it as well. So hope everybody's having a good day. We might be doing... I'm not sure if I want to attempt to do any wood burning on stream. Might be a possibility in the future. I already have the wood burning tool, I just need to get the wood. But we might be working on something for the shop. I have to fuss around with it. So this is going to be a section of little guys. Alright. So this section starts to, like doing these, starts to pick up the pace a little bit. Not a tremendous amount, but you know, a little. I might need to go a little bit heavier on the glue. In these sections, just because the sand being absorbent. But at least you guys can see what I'm doing now, so that's a plus. So before, I wasn't so sure that it was coming through, especially with all the white glue and the white glue and the white tissue paper. But now I feel like you can see a little bit better. These guys are about the same size. Alright. Okay. So we are just measuring and clipping. Alright, so this time I might be able to get 3 out of that piece, which will definitely help make the paper go a little bit further. Yeah, I think that's what I was starting to say earlier. I forgot that we're cutting this, so we might get a little bit more mileage out of it than I was originally thinking. I always misjudge how much paper I need. I always think I don't have enough, and while I'm not convinced I do have quite enough of this green preset, I cut that and I don't know where it went. It was a little teeny tiny piece though, so that could have gone anywhere. So we'll see. All right. Trying to keep track of these little guys for sections where we're gonna need them again. So I was saying, you know, you never know if you hit a spot where it's like, oh, that's super tiny. It's like, oh, hey, wait, I've got some super tinies that were cast-offs of X, Y, and Z section. Now, I probably won't save them after the project, but at least while we're working on it. I may run into a situation where we need it. Well, that went flying. I'm not even sure if that's still on the canvas. It may not be. Kind of went that way. Alright. Sorry, I've got glue stuck to my other finger. It's very distracting. Oh. There it is. Found it. Alright. Moving along. Okay, that one actually could have been a little bit longer. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. So we're starting to get into a slightly longer section here. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to start putting this on a little bit thicker. Because this section here is already kind of not fully dry, but it's more dry than I would like it to be. Alright, I'm just gonna put a little bit right there. I know I'm gonna be putting glue back in this again super quick, so I just want to make sure that's as dry as we can get it at the moment. So yeah, I probably will need more of this color, because I was like, oh, I pulled out a good amount, and now that I'm looking at how much I've put down, I'm like, now I'm second guessing myself. Again on that. We're getting closer to 10,000 views on the channel. Kind of a big deal since I'm a smaller streamer. I know I don't do any giveaways or anything exciting. Sorry. I don't really have the financial means to do so. Still kind of feel like we need to get maybe one more in there. I think that was a piece of my hair. Usually it's dog fur that we're like, no, the fur is taking over. Alright. So let's do that. Alright, that's probably as good as that one's gonna get there on the corner. I just realized I didn't do something. So let me do that real quick. Forgot to set to do not disturb on Discord. Alright. Okay, so we'll go to this section next. Okay. Alright. So at the moment I'm listening to some Spin Doctors. All right. So has anybody done anything fun or exciting this summer? I know we still have a bit of a clusterfuck going on, but even if you just like went to a park that you've been meaning to go to, or tried out a new hobby, that's fun. It's exciting. Maybe you're working on a degree. I've done nothing exciting this summer. We were debating going to the craft fair that they usually have every year. They didn't have it last year because of the state of things. And people in this area, especially this town, lost their damn minds. Because apparently square dancing is that big of a deal here, and they have a square dancing competition. I don't know, I did not grow up around here, I don't really get it myself, like the significance of it and why it was such a terrible travesty that they had to cancel it. I mean, it was canceled for the right reasons, but some people just... I guess the stage moms just were like, what? So, yeah. But they decided they were having it this year when things were starting to calm down. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this. And, things popped back off again. They still say they're going through with it. And because things popped back off again, Russell and I are like, no. We'll not. We didn't really have the money to spend on anything. Because, you know, it's handmade stuff. It's supposed to be handmade stuff, or, like, home goods and stuff. Like handmade soaps, or like hand sewn, like nothing big manufacturer plant cookie cutter shit. It's supposed to be like personal stuff. Although the one year, even though they said that they reviewed applications before they granted people booth space, Russell and I saw some stuff that looked mass produced out of the country. And we were like, thought they vetted all these vendors. Unless they showed something very different in their application photo. I mean, there might have been something handmade there, but the majority of it was like these little tiny mass-produced stuffed beanbag toys. Like these little plushes similar to a Beanie Baby, but not. And we were confused. We're like, okay. Alright then. But, you know. Hey, husband. He can't hear me. He can't hear me. So. Let's keep going. And we'll just keep snipping away. So that one I probably could have not put in there because it was a little short. But that's okay. So I have to try to remind myself that I need to be doing this on an angle. Like, I don't want it to be straight up and down. It kind of has to be on a little bit of an arc. So it looks like it's coming off of these spine things. Alright. I have to keep checking the time because I feel like it's so much later than it is. Yesterday was a bizarre day. We'd had a rough day on Friday. We were still having a bit of a rough day yesterday. I think I had like 3 hours of sleep and got up and was trying to muscle my way through the day, and I was just like, I am so tired. And husband ended up laying down. I was like, you know what, fuck it. And I went and laid down too. I was like, I'm probably not gonna fall asleep. I did actually. I think we both passed out for like 2 hours. When we woke up, I was a little disoriented about what time it was. And then we were trying to figure out what we were doing dinner-wise. And then some things happened that I had to go take care of. And alright. So I know we've got a little extra glue in here this time, and it is kind of welling up in between. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It'll help make sure this stuff is actually stuck in there. You don't want it too thick though, or too deep, because then, you know, you're just kind of wasting glue and you can't really see what you're doing if you've got too much well up around it. But you also don't want to waste too much glue. Let me hold that for a different spot. Alright. So sorry if my fingers look a little extra weird. I've got little bits of glue stuck to them. And that's gonna happen, because we're dealing with glue. And the fingers are all down in there. It is a small hazard when working with glue that you will probably get glue on you. Unless there's some kind of glue whisperer and manage to work some black magic there. To prevent that from happening. If you do have these superpowers, make sure you use them wisely. Alright. That one may or may not cooperate and sit down. I mean, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't. The next layer of glue on top will take care of that. So not terrible. I always wince when I go to cut this. I'm just like, oh. I've cut my fingers too many times with these scissors, so now I'm all paranoid. And it's not just switching out the scissor. I would still be kind of cringy with it. Be like, don't cut me, don't cut me. Just the sound that it makes when it's cutting through here. It's like, click. I was like, ugh. When you cut yourself enough times, the sound just kind of sticks with you. This is a couple of our little guys that I felt were a little too small. From some other sections. Alright. Need just a teeny tiny piece more. Uh-oh. I dropped it. No, stop! There we go. Well, that was a pain. Alright. Like sitting here just looking at the green that I'm blowing through and I'm like, oh. I mean, we do have some other green that's dark. So I'm hoping that if I have to swap to a different green, it's not quite so bad. I mean, I do have another pack of this paper, but the colors have been slightly, not terrible, but slightly off of the packs, so there is a dye lot factor. Alright. I mean, we don't have that much of this color pre-done. There's a normal green in here. Like a shamrock green in there. How do you get in there? That's fascinating. Alright. Glue. So we're getting there. We're making some progress. Alright, so we're going to start on this ridge right here. Sure our brush. Make sure our brush is good and dry here. So I've got a little bit of lift up on that green there. So I might bring the a dark green to sit on top of that section. Alright, so I'm only going to put half of the glue down in that section just to keep it from drying too quickly. Alright. Start to get these guys dropped in here. I heard a kitten meow.
She's bouncing between being cuddly and attacking my hands, so.
Ah. So we need a couple of pieces in there. Oh, there it is. I was gonna say, no, it went flying. I lost it. Let's see. Get this down in there. So this is probably going to be one of our longer projects. This project might actually take a little bit longer than our Bob Ross recreate. Because actually the Bob Ross one didn't take all that long in the grand scheme of things. Not really. And I know it seemed like it was taking forever. What was that? 10 12 episodes, but I mean, we're already on, I think I marked this as part 5. It might actually be part 6. I might have marked it. To be perfectly honest. In which case, oops, I will update that afterwards. So the older cat was all up in my face before I got started. I keep tasting cat hair on my lips, like why do I have fur in my face? She kept swishing her tail in my face. All right. So I mean, this one is moving along a little bit in this section. So I mean, I feel like it's gonna be longer, and it might very well be, but at times it feels like it's moving a little bit faster. Kinda. Right. Do, 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 do. Okay. So we have a few more of these to go. Before we can get into the next eye one. So, well, maybe not that many, because we're gonna need to do the eye before we do this one. So we'll do this. We'll do this one. We'll do this, and then we can start to work on these guys. Oh, okay. I left that one open. All right. I'm like, why does that look like that's missing there? That's missing there on purpose. Okay. I've got a couple of these little guys here, but they're a little too little actually for this particular spot. Get another teeny tiny guy and get him in there. Alright. Sure, we clean off the tip of our helper stick, and we need a little bit more glue. in that section. You are Gurring. Already? Really? I guess it's not that late. Or I mean, it's not that soon. I'm like, what is this noise I'm hearing in the background? Momo's growling at me. They're all hopped up on Cupcake. Yes, you are. I know, you gotta wait a minute. I'm putting glue down. You either have to wait for me or you'll have to get Daddy to get you.
Daddy's coming. Just gotta give him a second.
Oh. Yeah, he must, because he's starting to get a little bouncified. Alright, so we'll stick this guy in here. He fit pretty good in there without extra cutting. I mean, he had been cut down already, but so, saga of our cats outside. The one was, I put food out there twice yesterday. The very young kitten that's been coming to eat outside on the porch was here like twice last night, Russell said. And the other cat that first started showing up that we were aware of, he had come a few times, and when I looked out there was no food, and I was like, well, I wanted to make sure that the little kitten had eaten, so I put out another little tiny amount, and Russell didn't give me shit about it, so I was like, okay. And the cat, the older cat that's been coming, he showed back up. I heard him jumping around out there, because he's not, like, the insulation in this house sucks, so it's not very soundproof, and I could feel him jumping around. Like, he jumped off of something, and I felt through the floor something go thud, and I was like, what the hell was that? And we looked outside, and he was out there, and I was like, oh, it's you. Okay. So we went out to see him, and there wasn't much food left in there, and he ate it all, and then he was giving us shit, and I'm like, what? And he's like, meow, and I'm like, well, I can't give you any more today. I've already fed you guys twice. And he was actually giving me a bit of an attitude about it. I'm like, bud, as far as I know, you actually have an owner that seemed to claim you, that says she feeds you. Unless that has since changed. It's like, I was really putting it out here for the kitten, and I was trying to tell him not to chase the kitten off, because the kitten's a little wee bit of a thing, and the kitten is absolutely scared to death of people. We were gonna try to catch it, or make friends with it, and turn it into the pound, but he or she is paranoid as hell, and is constantly looking to the front door. So anytime we make a slight movement, they bolt. our only hope of doing that would be to put out a live trap, and I don't want to catch the other cat in the live trap. Because he can definitely fend for himself and might belong to somebody, so it's like, yeah, okay. The kitten, though, looks awfully young to be out on their own and just petrified of everything. Kind of reminded me of Little's scaredness when we grabbed her from the car wash. She still hates loud noises. I mean, I don't blame her. I'm sure it was very terrifying being abandoned or finding yourself alone in the car wash with all of the loud noises and all of the brick stalls just amplifying the sound tenfold. I mean, there we go again. Cut my finger. Surface skin, though, wasn't deep. I can't get my fingers out of the way. Alright. So, we haven't, the one that reminds us of the cat that's been coming for a long time, I don't think we've seen him in the past day or two, but, we've primarily just seen the kitten and our regular cat, who seems to slowly be living here. He has a grand time hunting here at night. I don't know what he's hunting because it's dark out, but he's been hunting something. The other night I thought he had left, and I had put a little bit of extra food out because he kind of ate everything, and like I said, I wanted the kitten to make sure that there was food down for that, and he materialized from the driveway. I guess he was hanging out nearby and saw me put more food down. He's like, "Hey, what up?" And I'm like, "Oh, you're still here. I thought you left." Slowly losing the view of this other support on this feather. We need to get that smushed back in there. I had a board that this would not slide around. I mean, we could, in theory, bring back a Zed, but I don't know how helpful Zed's gonna be in this situation. He might end up blocking the view more than helping. Well, we can put him off to the side there. He should keep us from bouncing around too hard, I think. Ah. Or maybe he'll make it worse. Oh, goodness. Alright. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? Dropped one. And I don't know where it went. I thought it bounced off my shirt. But it might have actually... I don't see it in my lap. It might have actually hit the floor. Well, we won't be finding that again. And if we do find it again, it probably won't be in a usable condition. Alright. Moving along. I actually went and spent a bit of time getting some green tissue paper prepped. Our lime green color. And now I don't think I'm going to end up using any of it this week. I guess it's one less thing for me to do later. 'Cause I kind of feel like we're going to need to get some more of this dark green color situated. See that section at the end? And dry it out. Alright, Zed, you were sort of helping, but not really. Alright, getting that nice and dry. And we'll set that back to the side. Alright, just want to tuck that tail in there a little bit. That guy was a little bigger than I was anticipating he was going to be. And I'm just going to grab my tiny little cast-offs here. And get those worked in here. Might need to get a few more. Oh no. Oh, I'm a dumbass. Yeah, let's just tilt the thing that we have all of the paper sitting on. Good job. Good job. Oi. I think I've got them all. Oh. Yes, welcome to Newsieville, where we do stupid things. Very stupid things. Alright. So. Yeah, that's filling in pretty good. Alright. Time is at 4:30. Sorry, I'm watching the time because I have something to do in a little bit. So Let's see. Okay. All right. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. Okay. So let's get this guy. Oh, like we did with the other one, we're gonna go about halfway. So yeah, I am clock watching today, and I do apologize. Since it's the birthday, we were gonna get dinner, and I don't want to run too late. I'm not going out to eat per se. We're gonna just get takeout and bring it home. So I just had to keep a check on the time, and we might be bleaching my hair tonight. So just trying to make sure time doesn't get too far ahead of me, or too far away from me, rather. All right. So every time you have to put more glue down would be a good time to double check your smooshy tool, whatever you're using. Just make sure that it's not got too much glue built up on it. I would actually be checking it more than that, but that's me. We Built This City is a good song. I'm an 80s girl though. I think the song might be older than that. Or did it come out in the 80s? I don't remember. It feels like 80s radio. It could be older. Regardless, it's a good song. Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Alright. So we're just gonna keep on snipping and sticking. Because that's how this goes. At least in this section. This section, these background feathers, it's going to be a lot of measuring and snipping to fit. I was hoping we were gonna get some rain this morning because I saw some storms heading our way, and it missed us again. Oh, so aggravating. I was watching it come in from Kansas. So I was like, oh, could we possibly get a piece of this? Nope, we didn't. It like hit the county above us and then kind of got lazy and didn't filter down this way. I was like, really? Rain, this isn't cool, rain. We kind of need you. And then the heat came back. It'd been an okay few days. There was a couple nice days, and then there was a few days where it was a little hot, but it was okay. And now it's just back to being sticky again. It's just ugh. And we've got a few more mice from up in the attic still. I don't know if they're just stragglers that are coming in from outside and there's that huge of a field mouse population nearby. I haven't noticed too much close new construction that would be driving them from where they are. Or it could just be that the population got that grand up there. But we're not catching something every day, or every time we check the trap. We check it twice a day. Especially with as hot as it is up there. We checked earlier, we didn't have anybody. No, I need you to go like right here. Why don't you want to sit there? Oh, I have like a rock in the sand. It's preventing that from doing what I want it to do, of course. Oh. Have to clean our glue bottle. Got a bit of a nozzle clog. It happens. Where's my stick? Sometimes just wiping it clears it. Sometimes it doesn't. There we go. Alright. So I think we're gonna do this one in, say, thirds, since we keep having it dry before we can get to the end section of it. We'll give that a shot. And this is just tacky glue. There is nothing special about it. I'm using, what am I using? I'm using Elaine's Original. Not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. Not in the slightest, but that's what I'm using. Probably do it with like Elmer's. You're probably gonna have to fuss with it a bit more since Elmer's is more school glue than tacky glue. But it might work. I think that's what I started out using. I mean, it will be a bit messier because it's gonna be a bit more liquidy. Really does not want to sit in there. Gonna keep on snipping and sticking. So we might actually, if we get the funds to do so, we've decided that we want to do a live bird feeder cam in our backyard. But that's not going to happen for some time. If we get the funding, it wouldn't be until next spring anyhow, but because we have to wait till it gets cooler out, because we have to clear out the jungle from where we would be putting it. But we've been trying to price out cameras and stuff, but it's going to be quite a while before we can do that. I mean, if we're able to at all, I really would like to. We have a pretty good spot picked out, we think. That we could work with, but we just have to get the starting funds for it, which is a whole nother matter, because we need to get the camera and all that stuff. And some extra bird feeders and the like. That is one of our dream projects, I guess you would say. Alright. We're getting there. Slowly. But we're getting there. Cutting all these little pieces off. I'm dying a little bit inside with everyone. I'm like, oh, wasted paper. But, not really, because I have to keep reminding myself, well, no, you might be using that in another spot. I mean, it's tissue paper. It's not super, well, it's not super expensive. Some tissue paper, when you're trying to buy a lot of it, there's a little bit of sticker shock, but, in the grand scheme of things. Oh! Dropped my scissors. Alright. That guy. Lead in there. This gap's bothering me in here. I might add another one. Just to fill in that little divot there. That's why I keep fussing with it. I'm like, why are you so large there? That tucked down in there. Alright, what time are we at? Okay, I don't think we're gonna get to the other eye today. I'm hoping that next week I can get started a little bit earlier. So I think today we'll just finish out this section here, and then next week we'll start off doing this one, and then while that one's drying we'll come in and work on the sections around it. I think that sounds like a plan. Alright, so let me rinse the brush. Okay. So, jumping back on in. Get that guy tucked down in there. Alright, just trying to tuck that tailing so it's just a fraction longer than I necessarily was looking for, but not the end of the world. Alright. There's another one. Everything got shifted when I tilted that up to look at it, because I forgot the other colors were sitting on here. Alright. I had them all in piles in front of me, separated. Alright, this guy feels like he's gonna be just a smidge long. Okay. Thought I lost the other half of that when I cut it, but I was actually still holding it. I thought I had let go. I was like, oh no. I didn't see it fly anywhere. I was still holding it. Might be a good reason why. Oh, today is a day. Today is quite a day. And somebody is revving their car rather obnoxiously. And I don't know if it's somebody at our neighbor's or if it's someone in front of our house. I don't know why. Ah! This hand today. Second time I've done that. That's usually the hand that holds things, not the hand that drops things. Usually it's my left hand that's dropping everything. Good grief. What the hell, you? So, gonna have to... Maybe we can utilize some of our small guys here that we were clipping off for this section in here. Because, you know, let's not waste it. We've got it cut that tiny anyway. And I'm going to resist trying to tilt this up again. Even though I really want to make sure that I've got that filled in. But I guess we can always fill in on top later. Alright, so that is actually going to do it for today. I'm okay with like little gaps here and there. That's fine. Little gaps will naturally happen here and there. Alright. Yeah, so that looks fairly decent. Next week I'm gonna put another blue one in there because that cap's bugging the shit out of me. Alright, so that's it for today. Next Sunday we'll work on this one and then we'll start to fill in around it. Hopefully I can get started a little earlier next week. I always say that and it doesn't happen, but hopefully it will. One of these weeks it'll happen. So thank you guys for popping in and hanging out with me on my birthday. Next stream will be on Wednesday. And that will be some more WoW challenges, Bloodthirsty leveling. Hopefully we'll get that hunter to 60 and get another max level in the books. Hopefully. So we'll see what happens with that. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend or the start of your work week, whichever it happens to be. If you need to reach out to me, you can follow me on Twitter, or you can, Twitter is @NisiBGN. You can find me in the Wild Challenges Discord. It's just Nisi over there. And don't forget that the copies of the live streams I log over on YouTube. So you can find the some of the past streams over there. For a while I hadn't been doing it because I forgot and got lazy about it, but I'm trying to be a little more diligent in getting those exported over and putting them up on there. So you guys, good luck with whatever you're working on, whatever hobby you're doing. Have fun with it, and I will see you on Wednesday, and until then, have a good one, you guys.